This video is going to walk you through how to use Wordpower 140, which is a Touchchat vocabulary in the iPad app, Touchchat with Wordpower. You're going to see that it is a very comprehensive vocabulary that is primarily text-based. It is considered a generative vocabulary, which means that you can say whatever it is that you want to say, whether or not it has been recorded into the device, because you can spell out your unique things that you want to be able to say. So that is a great feature of the program. The organization of Wordpower 140 was primarily developed for alternative access users, so users who are going to be scanning as opposed to a direct access, although if you have good motor control, you can use the program with direct access. But when you look at it, you're going to see that the organization of the vocabulary is set up for the success of scanners. So you'll notice that things are kind of in blocks so that they can do quadrant scanning. You can also do row and column scanning, but it's primarily set up to scan in quadrants so that, again, for efficiency of communication. When we look at the screen, we're going to look at this home screen on the front. And again, if you see a word that's in a button, you're going to see that when you hit the button, it's going to say that word. So example, I.
I.
It says the word I. There's no arrows on the button. It's all just the home screen, single button. I push it, it says what I want to say. If I hit the arrow back, what you'll see is that if I hit the yellow button with the I and the three dots in that upper left corner, it's going to take me to some phrasing. So if I hit that I, it's going to do some prediction and provide me with phrases that might combine with that so that I can reduce the number of hits that I am making. So if I want to say I want or I like, instead of constructing that sentence word for word, I can do some chunking of the vocabulary, again, to help with the efficiency of a scanner user. I'm going to go ahead and hit the clear button. The other things that I want you to notice is that there are some color codes that are used with the device. So pronouns are colored yellow, verbs are colored green, the connector words that are associated with adjectives are going to be blue. You see over in the upper right corner the S, ing, and ed to conjugate your verb correctly. And one of the things that you might notice are the buttons that have words but also have all uppercase letters. So those are folders, and those are not going to say the word that's on the button, but are going to take you to a different page. So we're going to go ahead and tap on social right in the middle of the top row. And when I tap that, you can see there's a lot of social vocabulary. Over to the right, you see the exclamations. Over to the left, you see some basic greeting kinds of things. Down on the bottom, you see some words and phrases that are associated with the use of the technology. And over in the lower right corner, you can see where you can actually verbally record some information. So if the individual using the device needed to take information home from you to the parent, and it was too much for them to put together, just independently, then you could actually record a message there and send that information home. Let's go back to the home screen, and we're going to look now in the groups. So when you touch on the groups, what you see are a bunch of folders. So there's three different quadrants in the peachy kind of color, and then three different quadrants in the white primarily color. So the peachy ones are the ones that have fringe vocabulary in them, those specialty words that one might want to say that aren't necessarily a part of everyday vocabulary but are high frequency used. Here you can find like body parts. So if the person wanted to say they had a headache, they could say, I have, and then come to the body parts and show the headache. If they're doing some art or coloring, they can come in here and get these folders and have access to those that vocabulary. So you can see how all that is laid out. Let's go on back to the home page. When we look at the middle of the screen, we see people, places, and descriptor words. Again, those are folders. So when we tap on people, we see that we have more pronouns. We have the family names. We have just names of people. And then we also have a folder here in the upper right that is school people and jobs. And you can add your school people. So friends, teachers, paraprofessionals, staff people that you might encounter, bus driver maybe, and you can add all those names into your device so that you can say those names. Going back home, we see descriptions, and so these are all the describing words, and you can see on each one of these pages there's buttons that are empty so that you can add words that might be unique to that individual. Let's go home again. The extra words that one might like to say that don't fit on this 140 are over here. And so these have to do with the somebody, something, everybody, everything, those kinds of words. So those you can find on the extra words. We talked a little bit about the keyboard and the arrangement of the keyboard. Again, is frequency of use based on a switch scanner. And so that's the unusual organization of it. It makes it a little hard to get used to when we're used to QWERTY or ABC, but this was set up again for someone who is a switch scanner. One of the things that really is key to every communication device is knowing how to find a word and see if it's included in the device. So next to the keyboard, you see the yellow shift button. We're going to tap on that. And then down in this lower left corner, we have find a word. We're going to hit find a word, and we get this little gray screen up here, and we can go ahead and type in a word. And let's put in popsicle. Let's see, popsicle, there it is, I-C-L-E, and we're going to hit find. And then in order to find the popsicle, the word is here under groups, drinks, dessert, popsicle. So it's 3 folders in. That was a complicated one. Let's tap on the series, and then we're going to go groups. It's going to model it for us. Drinks, dessert, and popsicle.
Popsicle.
So there we go. So we would go groups, drinks, desserts, and popsicle was in the middle.
Popsicle.
So you can see how it will help you to find a word that you might want to use. But the other thing that the keyboard will do is it has predictive text. So you see these 3 purple buttons that are empty above the keyboard. If we hit the T button, a quick word is going to be thank you, or the, that, they. So you can quickly get to that. Let's go back to the home screen, and let's do the P button. When we do the P button, please shows up. And so you can tap that. You can also, of course, spell words out that you might be trying to spell. And it's okay if those words are in the device if you don't know where they are and you just want to spell them that way. Some people don't have that skill, or for some people, if you were switch scanning, it would take too long. So it's better to know where the actual word is, because that reduces the time that it takes for you to construct your message. But it all is dependent on the individual user. So when we started, we talked about doing some customization, and I'm going to show you that there are a number of vocabularies built into the device. So in the upper left corner where it says vocabulary, we're going to choose new vocabulary, and we're just going to look at all these different vocabularies that are in this device. So depending on the user, the vocabulary is selected for that particular user that provides that foundation. But in order to customize it, you have to copy that file so that you don't corrupt that file. So what we're going to do when we start is we're going to do menu, and we're going to copy a vocabulary and choose that vocabulary that we want to be able to use, but then also customize. And we already did that with the 140. So I'm just going to go back to the one that I made for the 140, and I'm going to say it's done. I'm going to hit mine, and here we are in our 140. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add a word to your vocabulary. And as we mentioned before, you have to start with a copy of the vocabulary because you can't change things in the master vocabularies. So we've already made a copy, so this is one that we can edit, and I'm going to touch menu, and I'm going to show you that you have the edit page. So in order to edit the page, you have to navigate first to the page that you want to edit. Let's try looking at some of the school people. So we're going to start with people and then school people. So I've navigated to the page, and now I am going to go to menu, edit the page. And I'm going to choose a button that I want to edit, and I'm going to tap a button, and I'm going to create a new button. And I'm just going to add myself in there. So I'm going to add assistive technology. And you see that it gives the button label, and then it also gives the button message. If you wanted it to say something different, then you would type something different in the button message. But let's go ahead and listen and make sure it says it correctly.
Assistive technology.
Okay, sounds all right. And I'm going to hit save. And now my button has assistive technology on it. You can see that it has an icon that's already there. Sometimes you have to search for the icon that you want. So let's just see if we want to change the icon. So I'm going to tap on the button. I'm still in edit mode, and I'm going to edit the button. And now I get some more options here. You can see the images there. I'm going to select an image, and I'm going to do a search, and there's some of the different icons that I could use that are already in there. I'm going to choose the symbol sticks, and that's going to be my image. Some other things that I want to point out in there are that you can change, if your icon needed a skin tone, you could change that skin tone and make some other variations to the button that way. So let's go ahead and save it, and we're going to look at that button, and we still have some differences, right? So instead of it being pink like the others, it is yellow. So let's see if we can fix that. We're going to edit the button, and we're going to scroll down here further, and we're going to look for these options in the formatting, and in the body color we're going to pick pink, and we don't have the right pink on this. Excuse me. So we're going to hit custom and go to the little slider thing and select, and then hit OK, and then hit save, and now I have my pink button, and it's ready to go. But we're still in edit mode, as we know, because of the red bar at the top. So I'm going to hit done, and now my button is ready to speak.
Assistive technology.
And that is how you add a button. So it's easiest if you choose a blank button that you want to add something to, but you can delete buttons and add whatever you want to the device. The important thing is that the words are the words that you as a user want to use in your conversations. So feel free to do that. If you have questions or concerns or need additional support, just reach out to your classroom teacher, and your classroom teacher will be able to get a hold of me, or if you want to reach me directly, you can feel free to do that as well at Special Services. So thank you for your time, and good luck.